Yeah, you might wonder, but there is a story behind this. Later. With an Italian background. So it was a beautiful winter sunny day in Los Angeles. And I had to take a friend of mine to a dentist appointment. So I took advantage of the weather. It probably was between 15 and 20 degrees Celsius. And while he was in the office, I waited in the car, my white Honda Accord on the fourth leg, and rolled the window down, just enjoyed the weather. And all of a sudden, a melody came up in my head. And it sounded like an intro more than just a main melody. But then all of a sudden, right away, another melody came up as a sequel. So that was probably the first section of the song. And then eventually, the second one came by. And within half an hour, the whole song unfolded in my head. I'm from a small town up in a region northeast Italy called the Dolomites. That's a little southern than that, but anyway, we're still Italians. Okay, so I was told when I was very young that region was a swamp at the bottom of the Dolomites, filled with oak trees that the Venetian used to come over to cut to make the fleets of ships, because the oak is really a strong wood. So my family lived there for generations, and for us, Christmas is a really big tradition. But at the time, I was living in LA, staying with relatives, and I was commuting back and forth from school. So I was living in Redondo Beach, and the school was in Van Nuys. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's just crazy. It's just, forget about it. And so back then, Los Angeles was already 15 million people in the 80s. Now, I don't know. And so it was kind of hard to get around. Also, it was December, very close to Christmas, and I realized, this is the third time in a row that I don't get to get back home. When I write music, I need a strong moment, critical feelings. Doesn't have to be necessarily super happy, joy, or deep sadness. You can mix them up around a little bit, but they have to come to me in a way that makes my creativity to come out. Also, I have a little advantage, I don't know if it is, but I have a condition that is called synesthesia. I'm a synesthetic. And when I do music, I see colors. So I associate colors to notes, chords, and also to the titles of the song. So if I know that a certain song has a certain color, I know exactly what key that song is in. Crisis at Christmas is aggressive. It's a dark brown, like a dark coffee. Back in Italy, when I was very young, I started studying music when I was really little. And then, all of a sudden, in my early 20s, I had an opportunity to be part of a band that was very successful. So we were signed with a record deal for 5 years. We recorded several singles, and we were touring. Everything was fine. But we were too young to understand the gravity and the responsibility to be in a music business at that level. So the band disbanded without a new contract, and I felt like a tiger in a cage, so to speak. I didn't see many opportunity for me left in Italy. And so, thanks to these relatives, I bought a ticket, 20 words of English in my vocabulary, and flew straight to Los Angeles to pursue my dreams. While I was there, I enrolled in Grove School of Music. First year was bass performance. The second year was jazz arranging. And that was pretty much the situation I was living back then. I started doing odd jobs, getting some gigs, expand my contacts, and that the atmosphere where I was living in LA. So the result is that Crisis at Christmas shows an aggressive sadness kind of thing. I mean, I was sad, but at the same time, I had to fight that feeling because to be in Los Angeles was my decision. When I get creative and I come up with a little idea, a germ, a melodic germ, or a rhythm, or a bass line, I just want to make sure that it's not going to be a crappy kind of music. So I just sing it in my head. I just memorize the intervals, the rhythm, and everything. And then I go back to do what I was doing. And I let it simmer overnight. And if the music, the melody, or whatever the idea I had is still there the next day, that's worth to develop. So, Crisis at Christmas, despite the fact that it went through quite a few arrangements, in a way, orchestrations, but I didn't have to change anything. And the emotion is still there.